We all experience those moments when negative thoughts start creeping in, planting seeds of doubt and insecurity in our minds. The nagging voice that questions our abilities, worth, and decisions can be incredibly disruptive, impacting all aspects of our lives. If left unchecked, these mental patterns can spiral into anxiety, lack of motivation, and even depression. I know this struggle all too well. There were times when I felt consumed by negative self-talk and crippling self-doubt. It was a constant battle to silence the inner critic and regain my confidence. But then, I discovered the profound teachings of Stoicism. This ancient Greek philosophy provided me with powerful strategies to overcome these challenges. As Marcus Aurelius, the famous Stoic philosopher and Roman emperor, wisely stated, "The universe is change. Our life is what our thoughts make it." This realization was transformative for me. I began to understand that my negative thoughts were not facts, but mere interpretations that I had the power to change. So what is the purpose of our journey today? It is to share the timeless Stoic principles to help you deal effectively with negative thoughts and self-doubt. By the end of this exploration, you will be equipped with practical tools and insights to confront these inner battles head-on, reclaiming your inner peace and confidence. But this is not a passive experience. Stay engaged, reflect on these lessons, and actively apply them daily. True transformation occurs through knowledge, consistent action, and practice. With that, let us begin our exploration of the Stoic way of overcoming negative thoughts and self-doubt, guided by the wise words of Marcus Aurelius. The universe is change. Our life is what our thoughts make it. Understanding negative thoughts and self-doubt. We must first understand their nature and impact to deal with negative thoughts and self-doubt. As Epictetus, one of the most influential Stoic philosophers, wisely stated, "It is not the things themselves that disturb people, but their judgments about these things." Negative thoughts are not inherently bad or wrong. Our minds create interpretations based on our experiences, beliefs, and conditioning. However, when left unchecked, these thoughts can spiral, distorting our perception of reality and undermining our sense of self-worth. For instance, consider a situation where you made a mistake at work. A negative thought might arise, such as, "I'm so incompetent, I'll never succeed in this job." This thought, however, is not a fact, but a judgment colored by self-doubt and harsh self-criticism. The impact of such negative self-talk can be far-reaching. It can affect our motivation, decision-making, and overall well-being. As Marcus Aurelius cautioned, the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. Persistent negative thoughts can drain our energy, cloud judgment, and influence our physical health. Now, let's engage in a brief exercise. Take a moment to reflect on a recent negative thought or moment of self-doubt that you experienced. Please write it down or make a mental note of it. We will revisit this later in our exploration. Understanding negative thoughts' nature and potential consequences enables us to approach them more objectively. We can recognize them as mere interpretations, not absolute truths, and work towards reframing them more constructively. Remember, as Epictetus taught, it is not the things themselves that disturb people, but their judgments about these things. With this awareness, we can break free from negative thoughts and self-doubt, paving the way for a more empowered and fulfilling life. Changing your perspective. One of the core principles of Stoicism is the idea that our thoughts shape our reality. Epictetus wisely stated, "Men are disturbed not by things, but by the view which they take of them." This profound insight holds the key to overcoming negative thoughts and self-doubt. By changing our perspective, we can transform our experience. Let's revisit the example from the previous chapter where you made a mistake at work and a negative thought arose, labeling you as incompetent and doubting your ability to succeed. This thought is not a fact, but a subjective interpretation, colored by self-doubt and harsh self-criticism. The Stoics would encourage us to reframe this thought by adopting a more objective and rational perspective. Instead of criticizing ourselves, we could view the mistake as a learning opportunity to identify areas for improvement and growth. We could remind ourselves that mistakes are an inevitable part of the human experience and that even the most accomplished individuals have faced setbacks and failures throughout their journeys. By reframing our perspective, we can transform a negative thought into a constructive one, shifting our mindset from self-doubt to self-compassion and resilience. But the Stoics didn't just preach theoretical ideas. They offered practical wisdom rooted in real-life examples. One such example comes from the life of Seneca, the famous Stoic philosopher and advisor to the Roman Emperor Nero. In one of his letters, Seneca recounts a story of a friend deeply troubled by a nightmarish vision he had experienced. Seneca advised his friend to focus on reality rather than being consumed by his imagination, saying, "We are more often frightened than hurt, and we suffer more from imagination than from reality." Like Seneca's friend, we often allow our negative thoughts and fears to spiral out of control, creating imagined scenarios that cause unnecessary suffering. By grounding ourselves in reality and adopting a more objective perspective, we can break free from the grip of these distorted thoughts. Here's a practical step-by-step guide to help you reframe a negative thought. 1. Identify the negative thoughts or self-doubt. Write it down or make a mental note. 2. Examine the evidence. Is this thought based on facts or assumptions? Are there alternative perspectives you still need to consider? 3. Challenge the thought. Ask yourself, is this thought helping me or hurting me? Or would I say this to a loved one in a similar situation? 4. Reframe the thought. Replace the negative thought with a more constructive, rational interpretation that aligns with your values and goals. 5. Repeat the reframed thought. Reinforce the new perspective by repeating it to yourself or writing it down. As Marcus Aurelius reminded us, if you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. And this you have the power to revoke at any moment. By actively practicing reframing our perspective, we can gradually rewire our thought patterns, cultivating a more resilient and empowered mindset. It takes consistent effort, but the rewards are immense. A greater sense of inner peace, self-confidence, and the ability to navigate life's challenges with wisdom and grace. Focus on what you can control. One of the core tenets of Stoic philosophy is the principle of focusing our energy and attention on what we can control, rather than wasting time and energy agonizing over things beyond our influence. Epictetus famously stated, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This principle is compelling when dealing with negative thoughts and self-doubt. While we cannot always control the initial thoughts that arise, we can control how we respond to them. Do we allow them to spiral, fueling our self-doubt and anxiety? Or do we consciously shift our focus to what is within our control? Let's consider a practical example. Imagine you've been passed over for a promotion at work, and feelings of self-doubt and negative thoughts begin to surface. I'm not good enough. I'll never advance in this company. I'm a failure. While it's understandable to feel disappointed, dwelling on these negative thoughts and ruminating over the situation will only breed more negativity and disempowerment. Instead, the Stoic approach would focus on what you can control: your reaction, your mindset, and your next steps. You might reframe the situation by acknowledging that while the outcome was not what you hoped for, it does not define your worth or capabilities. You can respond with resilience, using the experience as motivation to identify areas for growth and development. Additionally, you can focus on what is within your control, such as updating your skills, seeking feedback from mentors, or exploring new opportunities within or outside the company. This principle is exemplified in Epictetus's life. Born into slavery, he faced numerous challenges and adversities beyond his control. However, he focused his energy on what was within his power, his mindset, actions, and his response to circumstances. In one of his famous teachings, Epictetus emphasized, "Make the best use of what is in your power and take the rest as it happens." By embracing this wisdom, we can avoid becoming consumed by negative thoughts and self-doubt from situations we cannot control. Instead, we can focus on our sphere of influence, taking constructive action and maintaining a positive, empowered mindset. To put this principle into practice, I invite you to pause and reflect on a current worry or concern causing you distress. Identify the aspects of the situation within your control and separate them from the factors beyond your influence. By consciously shifting your focus to what you can control, you'll find it easier to let go of negative thoughts and self-doubt surrounding the uncontrollable elements. This simple yet profound practice can cultivate inner peace, resilience, and empowerment in facing life's challenges. Remember, as Epictetus taught, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. By embracing this Stoic wisdom, you can reclaim your power and navigate life's ups and downs with grace and composure. Building resilience through Stoic practices. Thus far, we've discussed powerful Stoic principles for reframing negative thoughts, focusing on what's within our control and cultivating an empowered mindset. However, the Stoics understood that lasting inner transformation requires more than intellectual understanding. It demands consistent practice and cultivation of specific mental habits. One such practice is the Stoic concept of negative visualization, which may seem counterintuitive at first glance. As Epictetus wisely stated, no great thing is created suddenly, any more than a bunch of grapes or a fig. If you tell me that you desire a fig, I answer you that there must be time. Negative visualization involves contemplating potential adverse scenarios or misfortunes that could befall us. It may sound like a recipe for pessimism. Still, the Stoics saw it as a tool to cultivate gratitude, resilience, and a deeper appreciation for the present moment. By mentally preparing for challenges and setbacks, we become less shocked and overwhelmed when they inevitably occur. Additionally, it helps us cherish our good things rather than take them for granted. Let's engage in a brief exercise to experience the power of this practice. Close your eyes and imagine losing something truly valuable to you: a possession, a relationship, or even your health. Allow yourself to feel the weight of that potential loss fully. Notice how this exercise can heighten your gratitude for what you currently have and instill a sense of humble appreciation for the temporary nature of all things. The Stoics understood that by regularly practicing negative visualization, we could develop a kind of emotional immunity, a resilience that allows us to weather life's storms with poise and grace. Marcus Aurelius, the mighty Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, embodied this principle. Despite facing numerous personal losses and challenges, including the untimely deaths of several children and a devastating plague that ravaged his empire, Marcus Aurelius maintained his composure. He continued to govern with wisdom and compassion. He wrote in his famous Meditations, "How ridiculous and unrealistic is the man who is astonished at anything that happens in life." By embracing the Stoic practice of negative visualization, Marcus Aurelius cultivated a profound sense of resilience and acceptance, allowing him to navigate even the most harrowing circumstances with grace and poise. As we continue our journey towards overcoming negative thoughts and self-doubt, practices like negative visualization can serve as powerful tools to fortify our mental and emotional resilience. By regularly reminding ourselves of the impermanence of all things and mentally preparing for potential adversities, we can cultivate a sense of humble gratitude and develop the inner strength to face life's challenges with courage and wisdom. Remember, as Epictetus taught, no great thing is created suddenly. Building resilience is a gradual process that requires consistent practice and dedication. But by embracing the Stoic practices, we can steadily cultivate the inner resources to overcome negative thoughts, self-doubt, and any obstacles that may arise. Surrounding yourself with positivity. While the Stoic teachings emphasize cultivating inner resilience and self-mastery, the ancient philosophers recognized our social environment's profound impact on our mental and emotional well-being. As Epictetus wisely advised, the key is to keep company only with people who uplift you, whose presence calls forth your best. The people we surround ourselves with can fuel our negative thought patterns and self-doubt, or inspire us to rise above them. Their words, attitudes, and energy can drag us down or elevate us to new heights of confidence and self-assurance. Think about the individuals in your life who consistently radiate positivity, encouragement, and belief in your potential. Perhaps it's a close friend, a mentor, or a family member who has consistently supported and uplifted you, even during your darkest moments of self-doubt. Now, contrast that with the people in your life who seem to perpetuate your negative thought patterns. They might quickly criticize, doubt your abilities, or project their insecurities onto you. The Stoics understood that limiting exposure to negative influences and intentionally cultivating uplifting relationships could profoundly impact our mental and emotional state. Consider the example of Monkey D. Luffy from the anime One Piece. Luffy's journey to becoming the Pirate King is significantly influenced by the positive and supportive friends he surrounds himself with. Early in his quest, Luffy gathers a diverse crew of individuals who believe in his dream and support him through every challenge and setback. Characters like Zoro, Nami, Sanji, and Chopper contribute their strengths and unwavering belief in Luffy, encouraging him to persevere despite overwhelming odds. Their support and friendship help Luffy stay resilient and inspire each other to grow and reach their potential. By intentionally curating his crew, Luffy creates an environment that nurtures confidence, resilience, and determination, ultimately propelling him towards his dream of finding the One Piece and becoming the Pirate King. On the other hand, imagine the path of someone who remains entrenched in a toxic social environment, constantly surrounded by negativity, criticism, and doubt. It becomes increasingly challenging for them to break free from negative thoughts and self-doubt when those patterns are continuously reinforced by their social influences. So, how can we apply this Stoic wisdom to our own lives? Here are some practical tips. 1. Evaluate your current social circle. Identify the individuals who uplift and encourage you, as well as those who perpetuate negative thought patterns. 2. Gradually limit exposure to toxic influences while nurturing and prioritizing relationships with positive, supportive people. 3. Seek out communities, groups, or mentors aligned with your values and goals, as they can provide a powerful source of inspiration and motivation. 4. Be mindful of the energy you bring to your relationships. Strive to positively influence others, just as you seek positivity from them. Remember, as Epictetus taught, the key is to keep company only with people who uplift you, whose presence calls forth your best. By intentionally surrounding ourselves with positive influences, we create an environment conducive to overcoming negative thoughts and self-doubt and embracing our full potential. It's a journey that requires conscious effort and discernment. Still, the rewards are invaluable. A greater sense of confidence, resilience, and the ability to navigate life's challenges with the support and encouragement of those who believe in us. Gratitude and contentment. Stoic philosophy's core lies in a profound understanding of the power of gratitude and contentment. These principles serve as potent antidotes to the negative thought patterns and self-doubt that can quickly consume us in our modern, fast-paced lives. As Marcus Aurelius eloquently stated, "Do not indulge in dreams of having what you have not, but reckon up the chief of the blessings you do possess, and then thankfully remember how you would crave for them if they were not yours." These words encapsulate the essence of gratitude, the practice of actively appreciating and savoring the blessings we already possess rather than constantly yearning for more. By cultivating gratitude, we shift our focus away from perceived deficiencies and scarcity and instead embrace the abundance surrounding us. Imagine the weight lifted from your shoulders if you genuinely appreciate and feel grateful for all the positive aspects of your life, rather than fixating on what you lack or wish you had. The Stoics understood that this shift in perspective could profoundly impact our mental and emotional well-being. Seneca, another prominent Stoic philosopher, echoed this sentiment when he wrote, "It is in no man's power to have whatever he wants, but he has it in his power not to wish for what he hasn't got, and cheerfully make the most of the things that do come his way." These words remind us that true contentment does not come from constantly acquiring more, but from cultivating a sense of sufficiency and appreciating what we already have. By embracing this mindset, we can break free from the endless desire and dissatisfaction that fuels so much of our negative self-talk and self-doubt. To put this into practice, let's engage in a brief gratitude exercise. Close your eyes and take a few deep breaths. Now, consider 3 aspects of your life that you are truly grateful for. Perhaps your health, a loving relationship, or a cherished memory. Allow yourself to fully savor and appreciate these blessings, feeling the warmth of gratitude spread through your being. As you open your eyes, notice the subtle shift in your perspective. Do you feel lighter, more present, and less burdened by negative thoughts or self-doubt? This is the transformative power of gratitude and contentment. Acceptance and letting go. Closely intertwined with the principles of gratitude and contentment is the Stoic practice of acceptance and letting go. Epictetus wisely advised, "Don't demand that things happen as you wish, but wish that they happen as they do happen, and you will go on well." These words highlight a profound truth. Much of our suffering and negative thought patterns stem from our resistance to how things are and our attachment to how we believe they should be. By accepting reality as it unfolds without judgment or resistance, we can cultivate a sense of inner peace and freedom from negative thoughts and self-doubt. Consider the example of a student who has worked tirelessly to prepare for a critical exam only to receive a disappointing result. Suppose they cling to the expectation of a different outcome. In that case, they will likely spiral into a cycle of negative self-talk, doubt, and rumination. However, they can embrace the Stoic principle of acceptance. In that case, they can acknowledge the reality of the situation without judgment or self-criticism. They can redirect their energy towards constructive next steps, rather than dwelling on what cannot be changed. This principle was embodied by Marcus Aurelius, who faced numerous challenges and adversities during his reign as Roman emperor. In his famous Meditations, he wrote, "How ridiculous and strange to be surprised at anything which happens in life." These words reflect a deep understanding of the impermanence and unpredictability of life, a recognition that resistance and clinging to expectations only breed suffering. By accepting the ebb and flow of circumstances with equanimity, Marcus Aurelius navigated even the most tumultuous times with grace and wisdom. The Stoics understood that true freedom lies in letting go of our resistance and accepting what is, rather than constantly battling against reality. As Marcus Aurelius wisely stated, "Nothing happens to anybody which he is not fitted by nature to bear." Consider a situation you have resisted or struggled to accept. To put this principle into practice, take a few deep breaths and consciously let go of your resistance, embracing the reality of the situation without judgment or self-criticism. Notice how this simple acceptance can alleviate the burden of negative thoughts and self-doubt. By releasing the need to control or change the uncontrollable, you create space for inner peace, clarity, and the ability to respond with wisdom and equanimity. By embracing the Stoic practices of acceptance and letting go, we can cultivate the inner freedom to navigate life's challenges with resilience, grace, and a profound sense of inner peace. Self-reflection and growth. While the Stoic teachings provide potent tools for dealing with negative thoughts and self-doubt in the present moment, these ancient philosophers understood that lasting transformation requires a more profound commitment to self-reflection and personal growth. As Epictetus wisely advised, "When you are offended at any man's fault, turn to yourself and study your failings. He will grow better for being reproved, and you better yourself by this wholesome exercise." These words highlight the profound value of self-reflection, the practice of turning our gaze inward, examining our thoughts, beliefs, and actions with honesty and courage. Through this process, we can identify areas for growth, confront our blind spots, and cultivate the self-awareness necessary for lasting personal development. Imagine for a moment a scenario where you made a mistake or experienced a setback that triggered a wave of negative self-talk and self-doubt. Instead of wallowing in these thoughts or projecting blame onto external factors, the Stoic approach would be to engage in radical self-reflection. Ask yourself probing questions. What role did my own actions or assumptions play in this outcome? What lessons can I learn from this experience? How can I approach similar situations with greater wisdom and resilience in the future? By adopting this mindset of self-reflection and growth, we shift our perspective from self-criticism and stagnation to empowerment and continuous improvement. The Stoics understood that personal growth is not a linear journey, but a cyclical process of self-reflection, learning, and implementation. It requires a willingness to confront our shortcomings and embrace challenges as opportunities for growth, rather than sources of self-doubt and negativity. One powerful example of this principle in action is the life story of Epictetus himself. Born into slavery and subjected to numerous hardships, Epictetus could have easily succumbed to bitterness, resentment, and self-pity. However, he chose a path of radical self-reflection and personal growth. Epictetus developed a profound understanding of the human condition and the path to inner freedom through his unwavering commitment to examining his thoughts, beliefs, and actions. His teachings resonated for centuries and are a testament to the transformative power of self-reflection and growth. To cultivate this practice in your life, start by setting aside dedicated time for self-reflection, whether through journaling, meditation, or simply creating space for quiet contemplation. During these moments, ask yourself probing questions about your thoughts, beliefs, and actions, and approach your self-inquiry with curiosity and compassion. When you inevitably encounter moments of failure, setback, or negative self-talk, use them as opportunities for growth. Resist the urge to indulge in self-criticism or blame. Instead, turn your attention inward. Explore the lessons to be learned, the blind spots to be illuminated, and the steps to approach similar situations with greater wisdom and resilience. Remember, as Epictetus taught, seek not the good in external things, seek it in yourselves. By committing to the Stoic practice of self-reflection and growth, you unlock the key to overcoming negative thoughts and self-doubt from the inside out. It is a journey that requires courage, honesty, and a willingness to confront your limitations with humility and curiosity. But the rewards are immeasurable. A more profound sense of self-awareness, resilience, and the ability to navigate life's challenges with wisdom and grace. Stoic quotes about negative thoughts and self-doubt. The ancient Stoic philosophers left us a treasure trove of wisdom for dealing with negative thoughts and self-doubt. Let's explore some of their most powerful insights. The universe is change. Our life is what our thoughts make it. Marcus Aurelius. Our thoughts shape our reality. By changing our thoughts, we can change our experience of life. If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. And this you have the power to revoke at any moment. Marcus Aurelius. Our suffering comes not from external events, but our judgments about them, which we can change. How ridiculous and unrealistic is the man who is astonished at anything that happens in life. Marcus Aurelius. There is no need to be shocked or disturbed by life's inevitable challenges and setbacks. Acceptance is key. The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. Marcus Aurelius. Our persistent thoughts profoundly influence our state of being. Negative thoughts breed negativity. It is not the things themselves that disturb people, but their judgments about these things. Epictetus. Events themselves are neutral. Our interpretations cause us distress or inner peace. There is only one way to happiness, and that is to cease worrying about things which are beyond the power of our will. Epictetus. Happiness comes from focusing our energy on what we can control, not the uncontrollable. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Epictetus. We cannot always control circumstances, but we can control our responses to them. Men are disturbed not by things, but by the view which they take of them. Epictetus. Our perspective, not external events, is the trustworthy source of our inner turmoil or peace. Don't demand that things happen as you wish, but wish that they happen as they do happen, and you will go on well. Epictetus. Acceptance, not resistance, is the path to tranquility. We are more often frightened than hurt, and we suffer more from imagination than from reality. Seneca. Our pessimistic forecasts often cause more suffering than reality itself. Nothing happens to anybody which he is not fitted by nature to bear. Marcus Aurelius. We have the innate resilience to withstand whatever life brings our way. Remove the judgment, and you have removed the thought, "I am hurt," and the hurt itself is gone. Marcus Aurelius. It is our judgments that create our suffering, not circumstances themselves. Until we have begun to go without them, we fail to realize how unnecessary many things are. We've been using them not because we needed them, but because we had them. Seneca. These words encapsulate the essence of the Stoic approach, the recognition that true freedom and fulfillment arise not from external circumstances or possessions, but from the cultivation of our inner resources, resilience, and alignment with our deepest values. Internalizing these Stoic teachings allows us to rewire our minds, question our negative thought patterns, and cultivate a more resilient, empowered mindset. The path to overcoming self-doubt lies in changing our perspectives and reactions, not controlling the uncontrollable. Remember, the journey towards overcoming negative thoughts and self-doubt is not a destination, but a continuous practice, a lifelong commitment to personal growth, self-reflection, and the pursuit of a life well lived. Have you ever felt like you're standing in your own way? You set a goal, make a plan, and for a moment, you're convinced this time will be different. But then life happens, a distraction here, a temptation there, and before you know it, you're back where you started, wondering if discipline is something you'll ever truly master. That frustration? It's real, and you're not alone. But here's the thing. Discipline isn't about being perfect or forcing yourself to push harder every day. It's about understanding yourself, your strengths, your fears, your habits, and aligning them with what truly matters to you. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." The Stoics believed that extreme discipline isn't a punishment, it's freedom. It's the ability to act intentionally no matter what chaos surrounds you. In the next few minutes, we're going to uncover the 9 Stoic secrets that can transform the way you think about discipline. These are timeless lessons that have grounded warriors, philosophers, and leaders for centuries. They're not quick fixes or trendy hacks. They're principles designed to create a steady, unshakable foundation within you. Let's take this step together. Before we begin, please subscribe and tap the notification bell so you never miss out on more amazing videos like this. Let's get started. Understand the why. Why do you want to be disciplined? That's the question most people skip when they decide to get their life together. They jump straight to the how, creating routines, downloading productivity apps, or reading the latest self-help book. But without understanding the why, discipline becomes aimless. It turns into a grueling, unsustainable grind that fizzles out as soon as motivation wears off. The truth is, you can't build discipline around nothing. You need a purpose, a reason to keep showing up when the excitement fades. The Stoics called this telos, or your ultimate purpose. Marcus Aurelius didn't sit down to write meditations because it was trendy or because someone told him to. He did it because he believed in living according to his values: courage, wisdom, self-control, and justice. For him, discipline wasn't about checking boxes. It was about becoming the kind of person who could withstand life's storms with grace and strength. Without that deeper connection to purpose, discipline feels hollow, like steering a ship in circles because you don't know where you're going. Think of that ship for a moment. Out on the open ocean, the waves are relentless, the wind unpredictable. A captain without a clear destination would be lost, burning precious time and resources with no end in sight. Now think of your life. If you don't know where you're heading, what truly matters to you, how can you expect to stay disciplined when the waters get rough? This is why understanding your why is the foundation of extreme discipline. It's not enough to say, "I want to be successful," or "I need to lose weight." Those are surface-level goals. Dig deeper. Ask yourself, what does success really mean to me? Why does it matter? Maybe it's about providing security for your family, or proving to yourself that you're capable of more. Maybe it's about honoring your health so you can live longer and be there for the people you love. Whatever it is, it needs to resonate deeply. It needs to matter to you more than the discomfort of staying disciplined. I'd like you to try this simple but powerful exercise to get started. Grab a notebook and write down your core values. What principles guide you? What kind of person do you want to be? Then list your long-term goals. Be specific. Instead of get in shape, write, "Run a 10K by the end of the year because it will make me stronger and healthier." Instead of save money, try, "Build an emergency fund to create stability and reduce stress for my family." The more clarity you have, the easier it becomes to align your actions with your purpose. Discipline without purpose is exhausting, but discipline fueled by a clear why, that's unstoppable. When you know what you're working toward and why it matters, every step, even the hard ones, becomes meaningful. That's where the real power lies. Master the art of delayed gratification. The hardest battles are the ones no one sees. They happen in your mind, in the moments when you're faced with a choice. Chase instant pleasure or hold out for something greater. It's tempting to take the easy route, to scroll on your phone instead of working on your goals, to eat the junk food instead of cooking a meal, or to spend money now instead of saving for the future. These small decisions may feel harmless in the moment, but over time, they add up. They either build you into someone strong and disciplined, or keep you stuck in the same frustrating cycle. The Stoics believed that resisting immediate gratification wasn't just an exercise in self-control, it was a path to ataraxia, or inner calm. When you stop chasing fleeting pleasures, you free yourself from their hold. You stop letting external desires dictate your actions, and you gain the mental strength to prioritize what truly matters. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This isn't about deprivation or denying yourself joy. It's about choosing long-term fulfillment over short-term satisfaction. Think of discipline like planting a tree. When you plant the seed, there's no immediate reward. The soil looks the same, the seed is hidden, and nothing seems to change. But day by day, as you water it and tend to it, the roots grow stronger. Eventually, the tree breaks through the soil, and over time, it flourishes into something remarkable. Delayed gratification works the same way. You may not see the results right away, but every choice to delay pleasure is like watering the seed of your future success. Practicing delayed gratification doesn't mean you have to overhaul your life overnight. Start small. Try introducing micro delays into your daily routine. For example, the next time you crave a snack, wait 5 minutes before indulging. If you feel the urge to check your phone during work, finish one task first. These small acts of resistance may seem insignificant, but they train your mind to pause, reflect, and prioritize what's important. Over time, this practice becomes a habit, and the habit becomes a lifestyle. You start to realize that the momentary discomfort of waiting is far outweighed by the satisfaction of achieving something meaningful. You begin to trust yourself more, knowing you can endure temporary sacrifices for long-term growth. Discipline isn't about never giving yourself a break or denying joy. It's about learning to wait for what truly matters. It's about understanding that the best things in life often take time to grow. Mastering the art of delayed gratification is hard, but the rewards, they last a lifetime. Embrace discomfort. Discipline doesn't grow in comfort. It thrives in the moments when you willingly step into the hard, the uncertain, and the uncomfortable. We've been conditioned to seek ease, air conditioning on hot days, instant food when we're hungry, distractions at the first sign of boredom. But the truth is that the more you avoid discomfort, the weaker your resilience becomes, and resilience is the backbone of discipline. The Stoics understood this better than most. Seneca, one of Stoicism's greatest thinkers, often practiced voluntary discomfort to prepare his mind and body for life's inevitable challenges. He would eat simple meals, wear rough clothing, and expose himself to situations far beneath his wealth and status. Why? Because he believed that when you can willingly endure discomfort, you gain control over your fears. You realize that the things you dread aren't as terrible as they seem, and that you are stronger than you give yourself credit for. Think of life as a blacksmith's forge. A piece of raw metal isn't strong or useful on its own. It has to be heated, hammered, and shaped to become a blade that can cut through anything. The same goes for you. Each time you step into discomfort, whether it's physical, mental, or emotional, you're refining yourself. You're building a stronger, sharper version of who you are. But embracing discomfort doesn't mean you have to throw yourself into extreme challenges overnight. Start small and let it build. Take a cold shower for a minute every morning. Push yourself to speak up in a meeting where you'd normally stay silent. Commit to finishing that one task you've been avoiding, even if it feels overwhelming. Each act of discomfort is like striking the forge, slowly shaping you into something stronger. And here's the beauty of this practice. Discomfort loses its power over you. What once felt unbearable becomes routine. The cold shower that shocked your body on day 1 becomes refreshing by day 10. The fear of failure that kept you from trying fades when you realize you're still standing after a setback. Every step into discomfort proves that you are capable of more than you thought. The world may tell you that a good life is a comfortable one, but the Stoics would argue otherwise. A good life is one where you're prepared for anything, where you've trained your mind and body to endure, adapt, and overcome. By choosing discomfort, you're not just building discipline, you're discovering the depth of your own strength. And that strength, it's unshakable. Build small, consistent habits. Discipline isn't about making one dramatic change. It's not a giant leap or an overnight transformation. Real discipline is built through small, steady steps. Actions so simple they almost feel insignificant at first. But over time, those small actions compound, shaping who you are in ways you can't see right away. The Stoics understood this deeply. Epictetus reminded us to focus on what's within our power, not on chasing perfection. He said progress is not achieved by luck or accident, but by working on yourself daily. The point isn't to be flawless, it's to keep moving forward, one deliberate choice at a time. Trying to overhaul your entire life in a single moment is overwhelming and unsustainable. But starting small? That's achievable. That's sustainable. Let's take a single drop of water hitting a rock. On its own, it seems like nothing. A drop is too small, too soft to make any difference. But over time, those drops wear the rock down, carving it into something new. Habits work the same way. Each small action, each drop, might seem trivial in the moment, but they build momentum, they create change. The key is consistency. Start with one habit, just one. Make it so simple that it's almost impossible to fail. For example, if you want to write every day, commit to journaling for 2 minutes. Not an hour, not even 15 minutes, just 2. If your goal is to exercise, begin with 5 push-ups or a short walk around the block. The goal isn't to do something monumental, it's to prove to yourself that you can show up. Once that habit feels natural, build on it. 2 minutes of journaling might turn into 5, then 10. A walk around the block might lead to running a mile. This is how discipline grows, not through grand gestures, but through small, consistent actions that align with your values. And on the days when it feels like your efforts aren't making a difference, remind yourself of the water and the rock. Change is happening, even if you can't see it yet. The Stoics didn't chase perfection, and neither should you. Instead, focus on progress, on doing what's within your power today, no matter how small it seems. Each habit you build is a step toward the person you want to become. And when you string enough of those steps together, you realize just how far you've come. That's the quiet, steady power of discipline. Detach from outcomes. True discipline isn't about what you achieve. It's about the act of showing up again and again, regardless of the results. In a world that constantly measures success by external milestones, like hitting a fitness goal, landing a promotion, or gaining recognition, it's easy to tie your efforts to outcomes. But when you focus solely on results, you hand over your peace of mind to things outside your control. And when those results don't come as quickly as you hoped, frustration, doubt, and burnout take over. The Stoics had a better way. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." For the Stoics, the process mattered far more than the result. You can't always control the outcome of your efforts, but you can control the effort itself. Did you put in the work? Did you stay consistent? That's where your focus should be. Discipline isn't a guarantee of success. It's a commitment to the process, regardless of what happens next. Think about modern challenges like fitness or career growth. It's easy to obsess over the number on a scale or the size of your paycheck, but those outcomes are often influenced by factors you can't predict. Genetics, market conditions, timing. If you measure your discipline by these external markers, you're setting yourself up for disappointment. Instead, shift your attention to the process. Did you stick to your workout plan? Did you give your best effort at work today? These are the questions that truly matter because they keep the focus on what you can control. You can start by tracking your effort instead of your outcomes. If you're working toward a fitness goal, create a habit tracker where you check off each day you complete your workout or meal prep. Don't worry about the scale. Worry about whether you showed up. If you're chasing a career goal, keep a journal of the steps you're taking, the calls you made, the skills you learned, the hours you put in. Celebrate the process, not just the results. When you detach from outcomes, you free yourself from the constant pressure to perform. You stop seeing setbacks as failures and start viewing them as part of the journey. Every step you take becomes valuable, not because of where it leads, but because of what it builds within you: resilience, consistency, and strength. The world may tell you that success is measured by what you achieve, but the Stoics knew better. Success is measured by how you live, by the choices you make, the effort you give, and the discipline you build along the way. Let go of the outcomes. Focus on the process. That's where the real growth happens. Control your environment. Discipline isn't just about willpower, it's about strategy. If you rely solely on mental strength to resist every temptation, you'll eventually burn out. The smarter approach: shape your environment so that it works for you, not against you. When your surroundings align with your goals, discipline becomes less of a battle and more of a natural flow. The Stoics emphasized the importance of minimizing external chaos to maintain inner tranquility. Epictetus advised, if you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. This wasn't just about ignoring criticism, but about stripping away distractions and unnecessary influences that pull you away from what matters. In today's world, distractions come in endless forms: cluttered spaces, constant notifications, and social media feeds designed to steal your attention. These aren't just minor inconveniences, they're barriers to focus, discipline, and peace of mind. Take a look at your physical environment. Is your desk piled with papers and random items that distract you? A cluttered space creates a cluttered mind. By tidying up and organizing your surroundings, you're not just making things look nicer, you're creating a space where discipline can thrive. The same goes for your digital world. Notifications, endless scrolling, and an overflowing inbox are modern distractions that drain your energy. A digital detox, turning off notifications, setting app limits, or dedicating tech-free hours can restore your focus and help you regain control. Think of your environment as a foundation for success. You wouldn't plant a garden in rocky, nutrient-deprived soil and expect it to flourish. The same applies to discipline. You need to create conditions where it can grow. That might mean decluttering your workspace, setting up a designated area for focused work, or even rearranging your living space to reflect your goals. Small changes, like keeping your phone in another room during work hours or prepping your gym clothes the night before, can have a massive impact on your ability to stay disciplined. It's also about setting boundaries. If your environment includes people or situations that constantly derail your focus, it's time to reassess. This doesn't mean cutting everyone out of your life, but rather being intentional about who and what you allow into your space. Surround yourself with people who encourage your growth and set firm limits with those who don't. You can't always control the chaos of the world, but you can control what you invite into your personal environment. By decluttering, limiting distractions, and setting clear boundaries, you make discipline less of a struggle and more of a habit. As the Stoics taught, tranquility begins within, but it's nurtured by what you choose to surround yourself with. Reflect and reset daily. Discipline isn't something you set and forget. It's a daily commitment, refined and strengthened through reflection. Without taking time to pause and look inward, your actions can become mechanical, disconnected from your purpose. True discipline comes from understanding yourself, your progress, your setbacks, and the lessons each day brings. And the simplest way to do that? Through daily reflection. The Stoics were masters of this practice. Marcus Aurelius, one of history's most disciplined leaders, documented his reflections in meditations. These writings weren't for anyone else. They were for himself, a way to evaluate his actions, realign with his principles, and prepare for the challenges ahead. He didn't dwell on his mistakes or pat himself on the back for his successes. Instead, he used journaling as a tool to deepen his self-awareness and stay grounded in his values. Reflection isn't just about looking back. It's about looking forward. By taking a few minutes each day to review your choices, you build a clearer picture of where you're excelling and where you need to improve. Over time, this practice sharpens your self-awareness, helping you identify patterns and make adjustments. It's like checking your compass on a long journey. Even if you veered off course, a quick recalibration ensures you're heading in the right direction. Start small with your daily reflection. Set aside 5 to 10 minutes at the end of each day to sit with your thoughts or write them down. If you're unsure where to begin, use simple prompts. Ask yourself, what did I do well today? What challenges did I face and how did I respond? What can I improve tomorrow? This isn't about perfection, it's about progress. Maybe you stayed focused on your goals today, or maybe distractions got the better of you. Both outcomes are valuable if you learn from them. The act of reflecting allows you to reset with intention and avoid carrying unnecessary baggage into the next day. Discipline isn't just about doing, it's about understanding why you're doing it. Reflection connects your daily actions to your deeper purpose. It reminds you of your values and keeps you aligned with them, even when life gets chaotic. And when you stumble, and you will because discipline isn't flawless, reflection gives you the clarity to get back on track without guilt or self-doubt. As Marcus Aurelius showed us, reflection isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. It's where discipline is renewed and strengthened. By taking the time to reflect and reset each day, you're not just maintaining discipline, you're mastering it. So tonight, before you sleep, ask yourself, what did I learn today? Then use that answer to make tomorrow just a little better. Surround yourself with disciplined people. The people you spend your time with have a profound impact on who you become. Discipline isn't developed in isolation. It's cultivated through the influence of others. Whether we realize it or not, the habits, attitudes, and values of those around us shape our own. The old saying, "You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with," holds true, especially when it comes to discipline. If you want to strengthen your own discipline, you need to surround yourself with those who embody it. Epictetus, a Stoic philosopher who emphasized the importance of virtue, believed that we should be mindful of who we choose to associate with. He said, "If you wish to be a writer, associate with writers. If you wish to be a philosopher, associate with philosophers." The idea is simple. You become like those you spend time with. If your circle consists of people who lack self-control or who frequently give in to distractions, their habits will seep into yours. On the other hand, when you surround yourself with disciplined, focused individuals, their behaviors, standards, and mindset will naturally influence you in positive ways. Think about your social environment. Are the people in your life helping you stay accountable to your goals? Are they pushing you to be your best self, or are they pulling you away from the discipline you're trying to cultivate? If your friends or colleagues aren't aligned with your values, or if they encourage bad habits, it may be time to reassess your inner circle. Discipline is contagious, and if you want to strengthen yours, you need to be intentional about who you allow into your space. It's not just about cutting out negative influences, it's about actively seeking out people who inspire you to rise. This could mean finding a mentor who embodies the kind of discipline you admire, or joining communities where self-improvement is a priority. For example, if you're focused on fitness, find a workout group or online community that shares your commitment to health. If you're working on personal development, connect with individuals who prioritize growth, consistency, and mental toughness. When you immerse yourself in a community that values discipline, you not only gain inspiration, but also accountability. Being surrounded by others who are striving towards similar goals makes it harder to fall off track. Their commitment to their own journey reinforces your commitment to yours. And when you face challenges or doubts, these disciplined individuals can offer guidance, support, and the occasional push to keep going. Remember, discipline is a practice. It's easier to stay disciplined when you're in an environment that encourages it. So, Take a close look at your social circle. Are you surrounded by people who inspire you to be your best? Or are you being influenced by habits that undermine your goals? If it's the latter, it's time to seek out those who embody the discipline you want to develop. Seek out those who challenge you, who encourage you, and who hold you accountable. Your environment plays a critical role in shaping your character and your discipline. Choose wisely. Practice gratitude and celebrate wins. Discipline isn't just about forcing yourself to do hard things. It's about finding joy in the process and celebrating the small victories along the way. Too often, we get caught in the pursuit of the next big goal, fixated on what's still left to achieve. But true discipline isn't about reaching an endpoint. It's about embracing the journey, acknowledging your progress, and finding gratitude in every step forward. The Stoics understood the power of gratitude. Marcus Aurelius, in Meditations, often reflected on the importance of recognizing the abundance in life, even amidst hardship. He wrote, "Dwell on the beauty of life, watch the stars, and see yourself running with them." This simple act of focusing on the good, of acknowledging what you have rather than what you lack, shifts your perspective in profound ways. When you practice gratitude, you shift your mindset from one of scarcity to one of abundance, strengthening your resolve to keep moving forward, no matter the challenges. Gratitude isn't just an emotional response. It's a powerful tool that supports your discipline. When you acknowledge your achievements, no matter how small, you reinforce the behaviors that got you there. Every step you take toward your goal deserves recognition. Discipline thrives when you celebrate the effort, not just the result. If you focus only on what you haven't accomplished yet, you risk burnout. But when you celebrate what you have done, you build momentum, boost your motivation, and increase your capacity to stay disciplined. Start by celebrating small victories. Did you stick to your workout routine this week? Did you manage to work on your project even when distractions were tempting? That's progress, and it deserves to be acknowledged. The more you celebrate, the more you affirm the positive habits that keep you moving forward. By shifting your focus from what's lacking to what's been achieved, you build a foundation of positive reinforcement that keeps discipline alive and thriving. To make this practice a habit, consider ending your day with gratitude. Take a moment each evening to reflect on 3 things you're grateful for. These don't have to be grand gestures. Sometimes it's as simple as being thankful for a productive day, for a moment of clarity, or even for the lessons learned from a challenge. By closing each day with gratitude, you end on a positive note, shifting your focus away from what you didn't accomplish and towards what you did. Incorporating gratitude into your daily routine isn't just a feel-good practice. It's an essential part of maintaining discipline. It nurtures your spirit, reinforces your commitment to your goals, and reminds you that every small step is part of the bigger picture. So, as you move forward on your journey, take time to appreciate how far you've come. No matter how small the progress seems, celebrate the wins, no matter how minor they feel, because they are the building blocks of your success. Gratitude is the fuel that keeps your discipline strong. As we've explored together, building extreme discipline isn't about forcing yourself to follow a rigid routine. It's about embracing a mindset that supports growth, consistency, and resilience. From understanding your why and mastering delayed gratification to surrounding yourself with disciplined people and practicing gratitude, each of these steps plays a critical role in strengthening your resolve and staying the course. Discipline is a muscle, and just like any muscle, it requires constant care, reflection, and adaptation to grow stronger. If you found this video helpful and empowering, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more insights on personal growth, Stoicism, and building a disciplined life. Hit the notification bell so you never miss a new video. Keep going, keep growing, and keep practicing your discipline. It's worth every effort. Imagine for a moment that the most powerful tool for conquering procrastination isn't an app, a productivity hack, or the latest time management technique. What if it's already within you, waiting to be discovered and harnessed? This isn't just a thought experiment. It's a reality grounded in the wisdom of Stoicism, a philosophy that has guided countless individuals through the ages toward living with purpose, resilience, and tranquility. Procrastination, that insidious habit of delaying important tasks, is a struggle we've all faced. It's the silent thief of time, the saboteur of our goals, and often the source of our deepest regrets. But what if I told you that Stoicism offers a profound antidote to this universal challenge? Stoicism teaches us that the key to overcoming procrastination isn't found in external tools or tricks, but in mastering our minds and aligning our actions with our deepest values. It's a powerful reminder that despite the distractions and temptations of the modern world, we hold within us the unshakable foundation for productivity, purpose, and peace of mind. Today, we're peeling back the layers of procrastination, uncovering its root causes, and exploring how timeless Stoic principles can transform how we approach our tasks, time, and, ultimately, our lives. This journey is about more than just getting things done. It's about rediscovering our inherent power to act with intention and live in alignment with our highest selves. So, if you're ready to break free from the chains of procrastination and unlock the doors to personal freedom, productivity, and fulfillment, you're in the right place. Let's embark on this adventure together, exploring how the wisdom of Stoicism can illuminate the path to a life of purposeful action and achievement. The only thing I ask of you is not to skip this video in any way. If you're here, consider yourself different from the majority. Consider yourself an exception. Now, act like one and don't skip any part of the content. Your journey to mastering procrastination through Stoic wisdom begins now. Relevant Stoic principles. Stoicism's heart lies in a profound understanding of human nature and our relationship with the world around us. To truly grasp how this ancient philosophy can help us overcome procrastination, we must first understand some of its core principles. First and foremost, Stoicism teaches us about the dichotomy of control. Epictetus, a prominent Stoic philosopher, wisely said, "Some things are within our power, while others are not." This simple yet powerful idea is the cornerstone of Stoic thought. When it comes to procrastination, understanding what's within our control is crucial. We may not have control over external deadlines, the complexity of a task, or the distractions around us. Still, we have absolute control over our thoughts, judgments, and actions in response to these circumstances. Consider for a moment, how often do we delay tasks because we feel overwhelmed by factors beyond our control? The Stoic approach invites us to shift our focus. Instead of fixating on the enormity of a project or the potential for failure, we're encouraged to concentrate on what we can control: our effort, our attitude, and our commitment to taking action, however small. Another key Stoic principle relevant to overcoming procrastination is the importance of virtuous action. The Stoics believed that living a good life meant living by virtue, primarily wisdom, justice, courage, and self-control. Procrastination, in many ways, is a failure of self-control, a momentary lapse in our commitment to wisdom and courage. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher emperor, reminds us, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This strength he speaks of is the power to choose virtuous action over momentary comfort or distraction. When we procrastinate, we often choose short-term pleasure or avoidance over the long-term satisfaction of living up to our potential and values. The Stoic emphasis on the present moment is another powerful antidote to procrastination. Seneca, another great Stoic thinker, warned, "We are not given a short life, but we make it short, and we are not ill-supplied, but wasteful of it." Procrastination is, in essence, a denial of the present moment, a pushing off of what could and should be done now into an imagined future. We rob procrastination of its power by focusing on the present and fully inhabiting each moment. The Stoics teach us that this moment, right now, is all we truly have. The past is gone and the future is uncertain, but now, the present is our power. It's where all action, all change, all progress occurs. Lastly, let's consider the Stoic practice of negative visualization, or premeditatio malorum, as they called it. This involves imagining worst-case scenarios, not to induce anxiety, but to prepare ourselves mentally and emotionally for challenges. How does this relate to procrastination? Often, we put off tasks because we're afraid of failure, imperfection, or discomfort. By visualizing these potential outcomes, acknowledging them, and realizing we can handle them, we remove much of procrastination's emotional fuel. Imagine the worst that could happen if you tackle that daunting task right now. Perhaps you might struggle, maybe even fail at first. But as Epictetus reassures us, if you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. The Stoics remind us that temporary discomfort or failure is acceptable and often necessary for growth and ultimate success. These Stoic principles, focusing on what we can control, committing to virtuous action, living in the present moment, and preparing ourselves for challenges, form a powerful framework for addressing procrastination. They shift our perspective from avoidance and fear to acceptance and action. As we internalize these principles, we see procrastination not as an unconquerable foe, but as an opportunity to practice wisdom, exercise courage, and strengthen our self-control. Every moment we choose action over delay, purpose over distraction. We're not just completing tasks, we're building character, living our values, and moving closer to our highest potential. In the next section, we'll explore how to translate these profound Stoic insights into practical techniques for overcoming procrastination in our daily lives. Remember, the goal isn't just to be more productive, it's to live more fully, more intentionally, and more in alignment with our true selves. The Stoics have handed us the tools. Let's learn how to wield them. Practical Stoic techniques to combat procrastination. Now that we've laid the philosophical groundwork, let's dive into practical Stoic techniques you can apply today to overcome procrastination. These aren't just productivity hacks. They're time-tested methods for aligning your actions with your values and living with greater purpose and effectiveness. 1. Breaking tasks into smaller, manageable parts. The Stoics understood the power of incremental progress. Seneca advised, divide each difficulty into as many parts as is feasible and necessary to resolve it. This approach is particularly effective when facing tasks that seem overwhelming. When you find yourself procrastinating on a large project, take a moment to break it down into smaller, more manageable parts. Instead of thinking, I need to write a 20-page report, reframe it as, I'll start by creating an outline, or I'll write the introduction today. This technique aligns with the Stoic focus on what's within our control. While the entire project might seem daunting, that first small step is entirely within your power to take. Each small task completed builds momentum and confidence, making the next step easier to tackle. Remember, as Marcus Aurelius said, you must build up your life action by action and be content if each one achieves its goal as far as possible, and no one can keep you from this. Embrace the power of small, consistent actions. 2. Practicing negative visualization to reduce task anxiety. The Stoic practice of negative visualization can be a powerful tool against procrastination. Often, we delay tasks because we're anxious about potential negative outcomes. By facing these fears head-on, we can reduce their power over us. Take a moment to visualize the worst-case scenario if you tackle the task you've been avoiding. What's the worst that could happen? Maybe you'll struggle. Perhaps the outcome won't be perfect. Now, ask yourself, can I handle that? The answer is almost always yes. Epictetus reminds us, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. By mentally preparing for challenges, you strengthen your resilience and reduce the anxiety that feeds procrastination. This practice also helps us maintain perspective. The consequences of procrastination are often far worse than any outcome we're afraid of. By comparing our imagined worst-case scenario with the genuine negative consequences of continued delay, we can find the motivation to act. 3. Using memento mori to create urgency. Memento mori, remember you must die, might seem like a morbid concept, but the Stoics used it as a powerful motivator. This principle reminds us of the finite nature of our time and the importance of making the most of each moment. Marcus Aurelius urged, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." When you feel the pull of procrastination, remind yourself of the preciousness of time. Ask yourself, if this were my last day, would I spend it scrolling through social media? Or would I tackle that important project I've been putting off? This isn't about inducing anxiety, but creating a sense of purpose and urgency. It's about recognizing the value of our time and choosing to use it in alignment with our deepest values and goals. 4. Practicing mindfulness and present moment awareness. Stoicism emphasizes the importance of living in the present moment. Procrastination often involves either dwelling on past failures or anxiously anticipating future challenges. By anchoring ourselves in the present, we can break this cycle. When you notice yourself procrastinating, pause and take a few deep breaths. Bring your attention to the present moment. What can you do right now, at this very moment, to move forward? Even if it's just opening the document you need to work on or writing the first sentence, focus on that immediate action. Marcus Aurelius advised, confine yourself to the present. By fully engaging with the task and bringing our full attention to the present moment, we can overcome the mental resistance that leads to procrastination. 5. Reflecting on your values and long-term goals. The Stoics placed great emphasis on living by one's values. When we procrastinate, we often act against our deeply held principles and long-term goals. Take time to reflect on why the task you're avoiding is essential. How does it align with your values? How will completing it contribute to your long-term goals? We can find deeper motivation and purpose by connecting our actions to our core values. Epictetus said, "First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do." Regularly reminding ourselves of our aspirations and values creates a powerful counterforce to procrastination. 6. Practicing self-compassion. While the Stoics advocated for discipline and virtue, they also understood the importance of self-compassion. Procrastination often involves a cycle of delay, self-criticism, and further delay. Breaking this cycle requires treating ourselves with kindness and understanding. When you procrastinate, resist the urge to engage in harsh self-criticism. Instead, approach yourself with the same understanding and encouragement you would offer a good friend. Recognize that procrastination is a common human struggle, not a personal failure. As Seneca advised, we are more often frightened than hurt, and we suffer more from imagination than from reality. Often our self-criticism is far harsher than any external judgment. By practicing self-compassion, we create a supportive internal environment that makes it easier to take action. Implementing these Stoic techniques requires practice and patience. Remember, the goal isn't perfection, but progress. Each time you choose action over procrastination, you're not just completing a task. You're building character, strengthening your will, and moving closer to living a life of purpose and virtue. In the words of Epictetus, don't explain your philosophy, embody it. Let your actions and choices in each moment be a living embodiment of Stoic wisdom. As you apply these techniques, you'll find that overcoming procrastination becomes not just about getting things done, but about living a more intentional, purposeful, and fulfilling life. Addressing common misconceptions about procrastination and productivity. As we delve deeper into the Stoic approach to overcoming procrastination, we must address common misconceptions that often hinder our progress. These misunderstandings can cloud our judgment and lead us astray from the path of productive, purposeful living. 1. Misconception: procrastination is laziness. One of the most pervasive myths about procrastination is that it's simply a form of laziness. This couldn't be further from the truth. Procrastination is a complex behavior, often rooted in fear, perfectionism, or overwhelm, not a character flaw or moral failing. The Stoic perspective encourages us to look deeper. As Epictetus said, "The appearance of things to the mind is the standard of every action to man." Our procrastination often results from how we perceive a task or its potential outcomes. By recognizing this, we can change our relationship with the tasks we avoid. 2. Misconception: productivity means constant busyness. In our fast-paced world, there's a common belief that being productive means being constantly busy. However, the Stoics argue that true productivity is about meaningful action that is aligned with our values, not ceaseless activity. Seneca warned, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." Sometimes our pursuit of productivity can become a form of procrastination, keeping us busy with minor tasks while avoiding important work. The Stoic approach to productivity is about quality over quantity. It's about choosing our actions wisely, focusing on what truly matters, and finding the courage to say no to distractions, even if they come disguised as productivity. 3. Misconception: motivation always precedes action. Many of us fall into the trap of waiting for motivation to strike before we take action. We think we need to feel inspired or energized to start a task. However, the Stoics would argue that action often precedes motivation. As Marcus Aurelius advised, you must build up your life action by action and be content if each one achieves its goal as far as possible. And no one can keep you from this. We generate momentum by taking small, consistent actions, and motivation follows. 4. Misconception: procrastination is about time management. While better time management can certainly help combat procrastination, it's not the root of the problem. Procrastination is often more about emotion management than time management. The Stoics understood that our emotions and judgments drive our actions. Epictetus taught, "It's not things that upset us, but our judgments about things." When we procrastinate, it's often because we've negatively judged the task or our ability to complete it. We can address procrastination at its source by focusing on managing our perceptions and emotional responses, rather than just trying to squeeze more into our schedules. 5. Misconception: perfection is the goal. Perfectionism is a common culprit behind procrastination. We delay starting or finishing tasks because we fear the result won't be perfect. However, the Stoics remind us that perfection is an impossible standard. As Epictetus wisely said, if you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. Pursuing excellence is noble, but the demand for perfection can be paralyzing. The Stoic approach encourages us to focus on progress and learning, rather than an unattainable ideal of perfection. We can develop a more balanced, realistic approach to productivity and procrastination by challenging these misconceptions. The Stoic way is not about becoming a productivity machine, but about living intentionally, making wise choices about spending our time and energy, and continually striving to align our actions with our values. Real-life examples and scenarios. Let's explore real-life scenarios to understand how Stoic principles can help us overcome procrastination. These examples will illustrate how we can apply Stoic wisdom to common situations where procrastination often rears its head. Scenario 1. The overwhelming project. Imagine you have a large, complex project at work. Its sheer size makes you paralyzed, and you find yourself procrastinating, unsure where to begin. Stoic approach. Remember the principle of breaking tasks into smaller, manageable parts. Instead of focusing on the entire project, identify one small task you can do right now. Perhaps it's creating an outline or researching one aspect of the project. As Marcus Aurelius advised, do not be overwhelmed by what you still have to do. Instead, say to yourself, I will accomplish this task too, in its proper order, one thing at a time. You progress and build momentum by focusing on one step at a time. Scenario 2. The fear of failure. You've been putting off starting your own business because you're afraid of failure. The fear of potential setbacks or criticism keeps you from taking the first step. Stoic approach. This is where negative visualization can be powerful. Imagine the worst-case scenario. What if your business does fail? Can you handle that outcome? Most likely, you'll realize that even the worst-case scenario is manageable. Moreover, consider Seneca's words. We suffer more often in imagination than in reality. Often the anxiety of anticipation is worse than any real consequences. By facing your fears head-on, you rob them of their power. Remember also the Stoic emphasis on virtue over outcomes. Your worth isn't determined by the successes or failure of your business, but by your character and the effort you put in. Scenario 3. The distraction of social media. You sit down to work on an important task, but find yourself habitually reaching for your phone, scrolling through social media instead of focusing on your work. Stoic approach. This scenario calls for practicing mindfulness and present moment awareness. When you notice the urge to check your phone, pause, take a deep breath, and bring your attention to the present moment. Ask yourself, as Marcus Aurelius might, is this the best use of my time right now? Is this action aligned with my values and goals? You reclaim time and focus by consciously choosing how to spend each moment. Scenario 4. The mundane but necessary task. You've been putting off filing your taxes or organizing your finances. It's not a task you enjoy, but it's necessary. Stoic approach. This is an opportunity to practice virtue and duty. The Stoics believed in doing what's right, not just what's enjoyable. Epictetus taught, do not seek for things to happen as you wish, but wish for things to happen as they do happen, and you will go on well. Reframe the task not as a burden, but as an opportunity to practice self-discipline and responsibility. Focus on the sense of accomplishment and peace of mind you'll feel once it's done. Scenario 5. The perfectionist's dilemma. You're working on a creative project but keep delaying finishing it because it doesn't feel perfect yet. Stoic approach. Remember, the Stoics valued progress over perfection. As Epictetus said, if you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. Even if it's imperfect, the courage to put your work out there is more valuable than endless tweaking. Consider also the concept of memento mori. If your time were limited, and it is, would you spend it endlessly refining this project? Or would you finish it and move on to other meaningful work? By applying Stoic principles to these real-life scenarios, we can see how this ancient philosophy provides practical tools for overcoming procrastination in our modern lives. The key is consistently practicing these approaches, turning them from abstract concepts into lived experiences. Reflective questions. As we near the end of our exploration of Stoicism and procrastination, it's time to turn inward and apply these principles to our own lives. Reflection is crucial to the Stoic practice, allowing us to examine our thoughts, behaviors, and progress. Here are some reflective questions to consider. 1. What task or project am I currently procrastinating on? What fears or judgments might be driving this procrastination? 2. How can I break this task into smaller, more manageable parts? What's one small step I can take right now? 3. If I imagine the worst-case scenario of tackling this task, what is it? How prepared am I to handle that outcome? 4. How does completing this task align with my values and long-term goals? How will I feel once it's done? 5. In what ways have I been seeking perfection instead of progress? How can I shift this mindset? 6. How often do I bring my full attention to the present moment? How can I increase my mindfulness throughout the day? 7. In what areas of my life have I been acting like I have unlimited time? How might embracing memento mori change my priorities? Take a moment to journal about these questions. The act of writing can help clarify your thoughts and solidify your intentions. Now, let's move from reflection to action. The Stoics believed that philosophy should be lived, not just contemplated. As Epictetus said, don't explain your philosophy, embody it. Here's what you need to do. 1. Choose one task you've been procrastinating on. Commit to taking one small step towards completing it today. Remember, the size of the step doesn't matter. What matters is breaking the cycle of procrastination. 2. Practice negative visualization. Spend 5 minutes imagining the worst-case scenario if you tackle this task. Then, imagine how you would handle that scenario. Let this exercise empower you to take action despite your fears. 3. Set up a daily reminder to practice mindfulness. Whether it's a sticky note on your desk or an alarm on your phone, create a cue to bring your attention to the present moment throughout the day. 4. Share your commitment with someone. The Stoics valued community and accountability. Tell a friend or family member about your intention to overcome procrastination using these Stoic principles. 5. Reflect on your actions at the end of this week's day. Where did you choose purposeful action over procrastination? Where did you struggle? Use these reflections not for harsh self-judgment, but as valuable data to inform your future choices. Remember, overcoming procrastination is not about achieving perfection. It's about consistent progress, aligning your actions with your values, and living each day with intention and purpose. As Marcus Aurelius reminds us, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Your power lies in your choices in each moment, to act despite discomfort, to pursue what's essential despite distractions. The wisdom of Stoicism offers us timeless tools to overcome procrastination and live more fully. But knowledge alone is not enough. It's in the application, in the daily choice to embody these principles, that true transformation occurs. So, I challenge you. 1. Take what you've learned here and put it into practice. 2. Start small, but start today. 3. Choose action over delay. purpose over distraction, and growth over comfort. In doing so, you're not just overcoming procrastination, you're cultivating resilience, building character, and moving closer to living your most fulfilling life. The power to change your relationship with procrastination lies within you. It always has. Now, armed with the wisdom of the Stoics, you have the tools to unlock that power. The journey begins with a single step. Take it now. Thank you for joining me in this exploration of Stoicism and procrastination. If you found value in this video, please like and share it with others who might benefit from it. Remember, in the words of Seneca, luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. By preparing yourself with these Stoic tools, you're creating opportunities for success in every area of your life. As we draw our journey to a close, let's take a moment to reflect on the profound wisdom Stoicism offers in our battle against procrastination. We've explored how focusing on what's within our control, committing to virtuous action, living in the present moment, and preparing for challenges can transform our relationship with time and tasks. Remember, overcoming procrastination isn't just about ticking items off a to-do list. It's about aligning our actions with our values, living with intention, and making the most of our precious time. As Marcus Aurelius reminds us, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Now, I invite you to take action. Please choose one of the Stoic techniques we've discussed today and commit to applying it in your life this week. Perhaps you'll break down a daunting task into smaller parts or practice negative visualization to overcome task anxiety. Maybe you'll use memento mori to create a sense of urgency, or focus on aligning your actions with your long-term goals. You approach any technique with the Stoic virtues of wisdom, justice, courage, and self-control. Remember, progress, not perfection, is the goal. Each time you choose action over procrastination, you're not just completing a task, but building character and moving closer to your highest self. As Epictetus said, don't explain your philosophy, embody it. Let your actions speak louder than words. Show the world and yourself what you're capable of when you harness the power of Stoic wisdom. And remember, you're not alone on this journey. The principles of Stoicism have guided countless individuals through the ages, and they continue to offer timeless wisdom for our modern challenges. You're part of a community stretching back thousands of years. Individuals committed to living with purpose, virtue, and resilience. So, dear friend, what will you do with this moment? How will you honor the time you've been given? The choice, as always, is yours. But know this, you have within you everything you need to overcome procrastination and live a life of purpose and achievement. As we part ways today, I leave you with these words from Seneca. Begin at once to live, and count each separate day as a separate life. May you seize each day, each moment, with the wisdom and courage of the Stoics. If you've found value in today's discussion, I invite you to join our growing community of modern Stoics. Here at the Stoic community, we're dedicated to exploring how ancient wisdom can transform our lives in the modern world. Remember to like this video if you found it helpful, and share it with anyone you think might benefit from these Stoic insights on overcoming procrastination. Your support helps us reach more people with this transformative philosophy. If you haven't already done so, subscribe to the Stoic Community channel. We release new videos every week, diving deep into Stoic principles and how to apply them in our daily lives. Whether you're dealing with anxiety, seeking greater purpose, or simply looking to live with more wisdom and resilience, we've got you covered. In our next video, we'll explore the Stoic approach to dealing with selfish people, another challenge we all face in our modern lives. You won't want to miss it, so hit that notification bell to stay updated. Remember, in the words of Marcus Aurelius, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Until next time, live with virtue, act purposefully, and may Stoic wisdom guide your path. You know what? Not everyone's going to like you, and that's okay. Whether it's because of something you said, a decision you made, or how you carry yourself, there will be people who disapprove. But here's the real deal. Being disliked doesn't mean you're doing something wrong. In fact, it can be a sign that you're standing for something, living with purpose, and not just blending in with the crowd. Take a moment to consider it. Whenever you choose, voice an opinion, or pursue a goal, you're bound to ruffle some feathers. It's part of being human. But what if I told you that learning to accept and even embrace being disliked could be your superpower? Today, we're diving into a topic that touches all of us: how to gain the power of accepting being disliked by others. And we're going to approach this through the lens of Stoic philosophy, an ancient wisdom that's more relevant today than ever. Over the next 40 minutes, we'll explore why people might dislike us, how it affects us, and, most importantly, how we can use Stoic principles to turn this challenge into an opportunity for growth. Whether you're dealing with criticism at work, navigating complex relationships, or just trying to stay true to yourself in a world of social media judgment, this video is for you. We'll share stories from ancient and modern times, offer practical strategies you can use right away, and hopefully you'll see being disliked in a whole new light by the end. So, are you ready to gain a superpower? Let's dive in. First, let's talk about why people might dislike us. It's a complex issue, but understanding it can help us navigate it better. Sometimes people dislike us simply because we're different. Maybe you have an unconventional career choice, or your lifestyle doesn't fit the norm in your community. Remember when Steve Jobs dropped out of college to pursue his passion for technology? Many people, including his own parents, didn't understand or approve of his choice. But his willingness to be different changed the world. Other times, it's because we've made a decision that affects others. Managers often face this when they have to make tough calls for the good of the company. Imagine having to choose between laying off a few employees or risking the entire company's future. No matter what you decide, someone's bound to be unhappy. Sometimes it's not even about us at all. People's dislike can stem from their own insecurities, jealousies, or misunderstandings. Have you ever encountered someone who seemed to dislike you right off the bat before you even had a chance to say hello? That's often more about them than it is about you. Now, let's talk about how being disliked affects us. As social creatures, we're wired to seek approval. When we feel disliked, it can hit us hard. It might make us doubt ourselves, feel anxious, or even want to change who we are just to fit in. Think back to high school. Remember how it felt when the cool kids didn't like you? That pit in your stomach, the constant worry about what others thought, was exhausting, wasn't it? What's worse for many of us, those feelings don't completely disappear as adults. We just get better at hiding them. Being disliked can impact our self-esteem, willingness to take risks, and physical health. Studies have shown that social rejection can activate the same areas of the brain as physical pain. That's right, being disliked can literally hurt. But it's not all doom and gloom. The impact of being disliked also depends on how we react to it. And this is where things get interesting. Common reactions to being disliked fall into a few categories. Some of us might try to change ourselves to please others. We might tone down our personalities, hide our true opinions, or give up on dreams that others don't approve of. It's like wearing a mask, always trying to be what we think others want us to be. Others might go the opposite route and become defensive or aggressive. They might lash out at those who dislike them, trying to hurt back. It's the "you can't fire me, I quit" approach to social interactions. Then there are those who withdraw. They might avoid social situations, stop sharing their ideas, or abandon forming close relationships altogether. It's a way of protecting themselves, but it can lead to loneliness and missed opportunities. But there's another way to react, turning being disliked from a weakness into a strength. And this is where Stoicism comes in. Stoicism is an ancient Greek philosophy that has been helping people navigate life's challenges for over 2,000 years. At its core, Stoicism is about focusing on what we can control and accepting what we can't. It's not about suppressing emotions, but understanding them and choosing how to respond. When it comes to handling dislike, Stoicism offers a powerful perspective. The Stoics taught us that we can't control what others think of us, but can control our thoughts and actions. They believed that true happiness comes not from external approval, but from living according to our values and doing what we believe is right. Think about that for a moment. What if your worth wasn't determined by how many people liked you, but by how true you were to your principles? What if criticism became not something to fear, but an opportunity to examine yourself and grow stronger? One of the key Stoic principles relevant to our topic is the idea of voluntary discomfort. The Stoics believed in deliberately putting themselves in uncomfortable situations to build resilience. In our context, this might mean being okay with the discomfort of being disliked, knowing that it's making you stronger and more true to yourself. Another important Stoic concept is the dichotomy of control. This means clearly distinguishing between what we can control, our thoughts, actions, and reactions, and what we can't, other people's opinions, external events. By focusing our energy on what we can control, we free ourselves from the tyranny of seeking constant approval. The Stoics also emphasized the importance of self-reflection. They believed in regularly examining our thoughts and actions to ensure we're living according to our values. When faced with dislike, instead of immediately reacting, a Stoic approach would be to pause and ask, "Is this criticism valid? Does it align with my values? How can I use this as an opportunity to improve?" Let's look at a real-life example of Stoicism in action. Consider Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor who was also a renowned Stoic philosopher. Despite being one of the most powerful men in the world, he faced constant criticism and challenges. In his personal writings, later published as Meditations, he often reminded himself not to be disturbed by others' opinions. He wrote, "If someone is able to show me that what I think or do is not right, I will happily change, for I seek the truth, by which no one was ever truly harmed. It is the person who continues in his self-deception and ignorance who is harmed." This attitude allowed Marcus to lead effectively, make difficult decisions, and stay true to his principles even when faced with disapproval. He didn't ignore criticism, but didn't let it control him either. Instead, he used it as a tool for self-improvement and stayed focused on doing what he believed was right. So, how can we apply these Stoic principles to our own lives? How can we gain the power of accepting being disliked? That's what we'll explore in the rest of this video. We'll look at practical strategies for reframing dislike, building resilience, and using criticism for growth. Remember, the goal isn't to become immune to the feelings of being disliked. It's about learning to navigate those feelings in a way that makes us stronger more authentic, and ultimately more at peace with ourselves. Because at the end of the day, the most important opinion about you is your own. Stay with us as we dive deeper into this journey of self-discovery and empowerment. You're about to learn a superpower to serve you for the rest of your life. Now that we've laid the groundwork, let's dive deeper into the power of acceptance. Why is accepting dislike so paramount? Well, it's simple. You can't control what others think of you, but you can control how you respond to it. Think about it. How much energy have you spent trying to make everyone like you? How many times have you twisted yourself into knots trying to please everyone? It's exhausting, isn't it? And the kicker is, it never really works. There will always be someone who doesn't approve. Accepting dislike frees you from this endless chase. It allows you to focus on what really matters, living according to your values, pursuing your goals, and being true to yourself. When you accept that not everyone will like you, you permit yourself to be authentic. But here's where many people get stuck. They confuse acceptance with approval. Let's be clear. Accepting dislike doesn't mean you enjoy it or think it's okay for people to treat you badly. It simply means you acknowledge the reality of the situation without letting it control you. Imagine you're giving a presentation at work. You've prepared thoroughly, but you can see one colleague in the back row, arms crossed, clearly not buying what you're saying. Acceptance means acknowledging, okay, this person doesn't agree with me, and continuing your presentation. It doesn't mean you must like their attitude or change your approach to win them over. Let's look at how an ancient Stoic figure dealt with criticism. Consider the story of Cato the Younger, a Roman statesman known for his moral integrity. Cato often faced harsh criticism for his unwavering principles in a time of political corruption. One day, while Cato was speaking in the Roman Senate, arguing against corruption, a political rival became so enraged that he spat in Cato's face. Now, in Roman society, this was one of the gravest insults possible. The entire Senate fell silent, waiting to see how Cato would react. What did Cato do? He calmly wiped his face and continued his speech. He didn't retaliate, he didn't fly into a rage, and he didn't back down from his position. He accepted the reality of what happened without letting it derail him from his purpose. Cato's reaction demonstrates the power of accepting dislike. He didn't let his rival's actions control him or distract him from what he believed was important. He maintained his dignity and focus by accepting the dislike without internalizing it. Now, let's talk about how we can reframe dislike as a tool for growth. It might seem counterintuitive, but criticism can be one of the most potent motivators for self-improvement when approached with the right mindset. Think about a time when someone criticized you. It stung, right? But after the initial sting wore off, did you ever find yourself thinking, well, maybe they have a point? That's the beginning of using dislike as a tool for growth. Criticism forces us to examine ourselves. It challenges our assumptions and pushes us out of our comfort zones. When someone dislikes something about us or our work, it's an opportunity to ask ourselves, is there truth in this? Is there something I could do better? However, here's the catch. Not all criticism is created equal. Learning to identify valuable feedback within criticism is crucial. Ask yourself, is this criticism specific? Is it actionable? Is it coming from someone whose opinion I respect, or at least someone who has relevant experience? If the answer is yes to these questions, you might have found a golden opportunity for growth. If the answer is no, if the criticism is vague, unhelpful, or coming from someone who doesn't know what they're talking about, then you can acknowledge it and move on without letting it affect you. Let's look at a modern example of someone who used widespread dislike as a tool for growth. Consider the story of Elon Musk in the early days of Tesla and SpaceX. Both companies faced intense criticism and skepticism. Many people disliked Musk's brash style and thought his ideas were unrealistic. Instead of being discouraged, Musk used this criticism to fuel his drive. He listened to valid technical critiques and used them to improve his products. When people said electric cars couldn't be sexy or practical, he worked harder to prove them wrong. When they told reusable rockets were impossible, he and his team kept innovating until they succeeded. Musk didn't let the dislike stop him. Instead, he reframed it as a challenge to overcome, a problem to solve, and in doing so, he revolutionized two industries. Now, I'm not saying you need to revolutionize an industry to use dislike as a tool for growth, but you can apply the same principle in your own life. Next time you face criticism, try to look at it objectively. Is there something you can learn from it? Is there a way you can use it to become better? Let's move on to some practical strategies for handling negative opinions. Because let's face it, knowing something in theory is one thing. Putting it into practice when you're face to face with disapproval is another. First up, developing emotional resilience. This is your ability to bounce back from negative experiences. It's like building an emotional muscle. The more you exercise it, the stronger it gets. One way to build resilience is through what psychologists call reframing. This means changing how you think about a situation. For example, instead of thinking, "This person dislikes me, I must be awful," try thinking, "This person's opinion is just one perspective. It doesn't define me." Another technique is to practice self-compassion. Often, when people dislike us, we become our own harshest critics. But what if you treated yourself with the same kindness you'd show a good friend instead of beating yourself up? Tell yourself, "This is a tough situation, but I'm doing my best. I'll get through this." Next, let's talk about setting and maintaining personal boundaries. Boundaries are the limits you set on how others can treat you. They're crucial for maintaining your self-respect and reducing the impact of others' negative opinions. Setting boundaries means saying no to unreasonable requests, speaking up when someone treats you disrespectfully, or deciding what level of criticism you want to engage with. Remember, you don't have to attend every argument you're invited to. For example, suppose a colleague constantly criticizes your work in a non-constructive way. In that case, a boundary might be saying, "I'm open to specific actionable feedback, but general negative comments aren't helpful. Can we focus on concrete suggestions for improvement?" Practicing mindfulness and self-reflection is another powerful strategy. Mindfulness means being fully present in the moment and aware of your thoughts and feelings without judging them. When faced with dislike or criticism, mindfulness can help you observe your reactions without being controlled by them. Try this. Next time you feel the sting of someone's disapproval, pause, take a deep breath. Notice how you feel, the emotions, the physical sensations. But don't judge these feelings or try to push them away. Just observe them. This simple act of mindful awareness can help create a space between the trigger, someone's dislike, and your response. Self-reflection goes hand in hand with mindfulness. It's about regularly checking in with yourself. What are your values? Are your actions aligned with these values? When you're secure in who you are and what you stand for, others' disapproval loses much of its power. Now, let's have an interactive moment. I want you to pause and reflect. Think about a recent situation where you felt disliked or criticized. Got it? Okay, now let's work through it together. First, notice how you feel when you think about this situation. Where do you feel it in your body? What emotions come up? Just observe these sensations without trying to change them. Now let's reframe this situation. Instead of focusing on the dislike, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? Is there any truth in the criticism that I can use to grow? If not, Can I use this as an opportunity to practice standing firm in my values? Next, set a boundary. What's a healthy limit you could set in this situation? How could you communicate this boundary respectfully but firmly? Finally, show yourself some compassion. Say to yourself, "This is difficult, but I'm doing my best. I'm learning and growing from this experience." How do you feel now? A bit different, right? This is the power of these strategies. They don't make the dislike disappear, but change how you relate to it. They put you back in control. Remember, handling negative opinions is a skill. Like any skill, it takes practice. You won't be perfect at it overnight, and that's okay. The goal isn't to never feel hurt by dislike or criticism. The goal is to build resilience, learn from the experience, and stay true to yourself despite disapproval. As we move forward, we'll explore how to apply these strategies in specific real-life situations, from workplace conflicts to social media interactions. We'll also look at the long-term benefits of embracing dislike. Because here's the truth, learning to accept being disliked isn't just about defending yourself from negative feelings. It's about freeing yourself to live a more authentic, purposeful life. The best is yet to come. Now that we've explored the power of acceptance and some practical strategies, let's see how these ideas play out in real life. We'll look at 3 common areas where we often face dislike or disapproval: the workplace, personal relationships, and social media. Let's start with the workplace. Imagine you're in a team meeting, presenting a new idea you're excited about. As you're speaking, you notice your colleague John rolling his eyes. After the meeting, he pulls you aside and says, "That's never going to work. You're wasting everyone's time." Ouch, right? But let's apply what we've learned. First, accept the reality. John doesn't like your idea. That's okay. It doesn't mean your idea is terrible or that you're incompetent. Next, look for any valuable feedback hidden in his criticism. Is there a specific concern you could address? If not, that's fine too. Now, set a boundary. You might say, "John, I appreciate you sharing your concerns. In the future, I'd find it more helpful if you could provide specific feedback during the meeting. That way, we can discuss it as a team." Finally, reflect. Are you still confident in your idea? Does it align with your values and what you believe is best for the company? If so, don't let one person's disapproval deter you. Use it as motivation to refine and improve your proposal. Moving on to personal relationships, let's consider a family scenario. You've decided to pursue a career in arts, but your parents strongly disapprove. They wanted you to become a doctor or lawyer. This situation is trickier because it involves people you care about deeply. Start by accepting their disapproval without letting it define you. Understand that their opinion likely comes from a place of concern for your future. Next, look for the underlying issue. Are they worried about financial stability, job security? Address these concerns directly. You might say, "I know you're worried about my future. I've researched this career path, and here's my plan for building a stable income." Set boundaries around how this topic is discussed. For instance, "I value your opinion, but I need you to respect my choice. Can we agree to not argue about this during family gatherings?" Remember, loving someone deeply and still disagreeing with them is possible. Your career choice doesn't have to damage your relationship if you approach the situation with understanding and firm, respectful boundaries. Now, let's tackle the Wild West of social media. You post a photo of yourself at a political rally, and suddenly your notifications are flooded with angry comments from people who disagree with your views. First, breathe. Accept that in the vast world of social media, you will encounter people who dislike your views. That's not a reflection on you. It's the nature of the platform. Next, decide which comments, if any, are worth engaging with. Is there an opportunity for constructive dialogue? If so, respond thoughtfully. If not, it's okay to ignore or delete hostile comments. Remember, you're not obligated to engage with every opinion thrown your way. Set clear boundaries for your social media use. You can limit the time spent reading comments or turn off comments on specific posts. You could curate your friend list to create a more supportive online environment. Reflect on why you're sharing in the first place. Are you expressing your values, raising awareness for a cause you believe in? If so, let that purpose ground you in the face of disapproval. In all these scenarios, staying true to yourself while navigating the complex social world around you is key. It's a balancing act, but with practice, it becomes easier. Now, let's talk about cultivating inner peace amid external disapproval. It's here where the real action takes place. It's one thing to handle individual instances of dislike. It's another to maintain a sense of inner calm when faced with ongoing disapproval. The first step is to focus on your personal values and integrity. What do you stand for? What principles guide your life? When you're clear about your values, external opinions have less power to shake you. Think of your values as an internal compass. When faced with disapproval, check your compass. Are you acting in alignment with your values? If yes, then you can feel secure in your choices, regardless of what others think. For example, if one of your core values is honesty, and you receive criticism for telling an unpopular truth, you can find peace in knowing you acted with integrity. The disapproval might still sting, but it won't devastate you. Building a supportive network is another crucial aspect of cultivating inner peace. Surround yourself with people who uplift you and who appreciate you for who you are. This doesn't mean creating an echo chamber where everyone agrees with you. Instead, seek out people who can disagree with you respectfully and challenge you to grow while still supporting your fundamental worth. Your supportive network can be a safe harbor in stormy seas of disapproval. You can turn to these people when you need reassurance, who can remind you of your strengths when others are focusing on perceived weaknesses. Let me share an Eastern philosophical tale about inner peace. There's a Zen story about a monk who was renowned for his inner calm. One day, a warrior came to challenge him, hurling insults and trying to provoke the monk into a fight. The monk listened calmly, then asked, "If someone offers you a gift and you refuse to accept it, who does the gift belong to?" The warrior, confused, replied, "The giver, I suppose." The monk smiled and said, "Exactly. And it is the same with your insults and anger. I choose not to accept them. They remain yours." This story beautifully illustrates the power of choosing our reactions. The monk's inner peace wasn't dependent on the warrior's approval. He recognized that he had control over his responses, not the warrior's actions. We can apply this wisdom in our own lives. When faced with dislike or disapproval, we can choose whether to accept it into our inner world. This doesn't mean ignoring valid criticism or never feeling hurt. It means recognizing that we have the power to decide how deeply we let others' opinions affect us. Cultivating this inner peace is a lifelong journey. It's not about reaching a state where nothing ever bothers you. It's about developing the ability to return to your center, your inner calm, even when the world around you is chaotic. Now, let's look at the long-term benefits of embracing dislike. Because make no mistake, learning to accept being disliked isn't just about defense. It's about opening yourself up to a more authentic, confident, and resilient life. First, let's talk about increased authenticity and self-confidence. When the need for universal approval no longer drives you, you're free to be your true self. You can express your genuine thoughts, pursue your real passions, and live according to your actual values, not the values others think you should have. This authenticity naturally leads to greater self-confidence. Why? Because you're no longer trying to be someone you're not. You're not constantly second-guessing yourself, wondering if this action or that comment will make someone dislike you. Instead, you're standing firm in who you are. Think about the people you admire most. Chances are they're not people pleasers. They're individuals who stand for something and who aren't afraid to be disliked for their beliefs or actions. That's the kind of confidence you develop when you embrace the possibility of being disliked. Next, embracing dislike leads to improved decision-making skills. When you're overly concerned with being liked, you might refrain from making necessary but unpopular decisions. You might choose the safe option over the right option. But when you accept that dislike is sometimes inevitable, you free yourself to make decisions based on what you truly believe is best, not what will ruffle the fewest feathers. This leads to better outcomes in the long run, both in your personal life and in professional settings. For instance, a manager who's comfortable with being disliked can make tough but necessary decisions to keep a project on track. A parent who's okay with temporary disapproval can set important boundaries that benefit their child in the long term. Finally, embracing dislike enhances your resilience in the face of adversity. Every time you stand firm in the face of disapproval, you're building emotional strength. You're proving to yourself that you can handle discomfort and stay true to your values even when it's difficult. This resilience serves you in all areas of life. It helps you bounce back from setbacks, persist in the face of challenges, and maintain your composure in high-pressure situations. It's like building an emotional immune system. The more you exercise it, the stronger it gets. Consider someone who's learned to embrace the dislike of pursuing a long-term goal, like starting a business or writing a book. They'll inevitably face criticism and setbacks. But because they're not devastated by every negative opinion, they can persist where others might give up. They can take useful feedback and let go of the rest. In essence, embracing dislike doesn't just change how you handle disapproval. It changes who you are. It transforms you into a more authentic, confident, decisive, and resilient. It allows you to live life on your own terms, to pursue what truly matters to you without being held back by the fear of others' opinions. And here's the beautiful irony. When you're no longer desperate for everyone's approval, you often end up earning genuine respect. People are drawn to authenticity and quiet confidence. By embracing the possibility of being disliked, you become the kind of person others admire, someone who stands for something and isn't swayed by every passing opinion. As we wrap up this section, I want you to imagine the person you could be if you fully embraced this mindset. Imagine the goals you could pursue, the stands you could take, the life you could lead if the fear of being disliked no longer held you back. That's the power we're talking about. That's the transformation that's possible. And in our final section, we'll talk about how to start making this shift in your own life, starting today. We've journeyed through the challenging terrain of acceptance, growth, and inner peace. Now, let's bring it all home. Remember, as the great Roman philosopher Epictetus said, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Your power lies not in controlling others' opinions, but in mastering your responses. Imagine waking up tomorrow, fully embracing this Stoic superpower. You step out into the world, no longer shackled by the fear of disapproval. You speak your truth, pursue your passions, and stand firm in your values. Sure, not everyone will like it, but you know what? That's okay. As Theodore Roosevelt powerfully put it, it is not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles, or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena. You're choosing to be in the arena. You're choosing to live fully, authentically, and purposefully. And that, my friends, is true freedom. This journey doesn't end when this video does. It's a daily practice, a lifelong commitment to growth and self-mastery. There will be challenges. There will be days when the sting of disapproval feels almost too much to bear. In those moments, remember the words of Marcus Aurelius. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. This strength is within you right now. You need to cultivate it, and you don't have to do it alone. That's why we're here at the Stoic community. We're on this journey together, supporting each other, learning from each other, growing together. So, here's my challenge to you. Take one thing you've learned today and put it into practice. It could be setting a boundary, reframing criticism, or simply pausing to check your inner compass before reacting to disapproval. Whatever it is, commit to it. Do it consciously, intentionally. Then, come back and share your experience. Comment below. Engage with fellow travelers on this Stoic path. Your story could inspire someone else to take that first step. If you found value in today's video and are ready to dive deeper into Stoic wisdom and practical philosophy, hit that subscribe button. Join the Stoic community. Let's build resilience together. Let's cultivate inner peace together. Let's revolutionize the way we navigate this complex, sometimes harsh, but ultimately beautiful world. Remember, in the words of Seneca, we suffer more often in imagination than in reality. So let go of the imagined weight of universal approval. Embrace the liberating power of accepting that you might be disliked. And in doing so, step into the fullest, most authentic version of yourself. This is where true power lies. This is where real life begins. Thank you for joining me today. Stay stoic, stay strong, and I'll see you in the next video. The Stoic community is here for you every step of the way.